Good morning, everyone. This is a kind of a cleanup call, I guess you could say. First of all, I want you to understand what abnormal banking practices are. Abnormal banking practices is anything that the bank considers to be abnormal. Simple as that. So what happens is this. Let's say that you're somebody that goes out and makes $100,000 a year. Okay, and then there's another person down the street that's making zero money a year. Okay, and he just so happens to be a drug dealer, let's say. This is only for example purposes only. Okay, so all of a sudden this drug dealer starts making really big bucks, and a lot of it in cash. And the banks have a history of what normal, everyday people will do. People that are outside of that norm are what fall into abnormal banking practices. So all of a sudden they come up with a whole lot of money and they go out and they buy themselves a Lamborghini. That sets a red flag up for that particular individual. Also, what happens is if someone goes and opens a bank account and they have the name of Abdullah, let's say, for example purposes only, then they are going to be flagged. And let's say they walk in and they deposit $10,000. Okay, then the following week or a couple of days later, they go in there and they do $100,000. Well, that's abnormal, and that would be red flagged. And then it would be investigated. It would be followed to where the money goes. Now, for those of us that have not ever had a lot of money, then that's the kind of thing that you're stepping into. You're going from having basically zero money to just having a lot of money and not knowing how to do it. That's why when we go in on these redemptions and exchanges that we take the classes. We can ask for the classes to be where we would learn how to handle and manage money, because you have to be a steward of this money. And that does not mean that you go out and you buy all your relatives brand new homes and new cars and all that. That sets off flags, whether you realize it or not. And the quantum system is going to be following that money to see where it goes. If you receive a lot of money, you sign your NDA, and it gets put into a private bank, let's say. If you have enough of it, anything over $50 million will automatically be put into a private bank. And then you can talk with your wealth managers and set up classes so that you and your whole family can benefit from that. Now, just because you want to go out and you want to buy a multi-million-dollar home does not necessarily set off a red flag. But if you do it through your wealth managers, if you do it through your team of people, then you'll have a realtor on there. You'll have a banker, a private offshore banker that will be able to issue the proof of funds letter to the people that you have to show to buy the property from. Okay, you just don't go in there and ask for a $2 million cashier's check. Even if you give them an explanation as to what it's for, there are still procedures that you have to go through, because you have to show that these funds are of non-criminal origin. Okay, and so you also have to have a certificate that clears that says the funds are not of non-criminal origin. And then you can get your proof of funds letter. Matter of fact, the wealth manager will handle it all, including putting everything over into your trust name so that you're not liable. But basically, there's no need to get a little bit scared or afraid of it, there'll be plenty of people that will help you. Of course, you're paying for it, but there will be plenty of people that will help you. And the best thing that you can do is just take it one day at a time. Don't change your lifestyle overnight, even though you can. If there's going to be a lot of questions from the people in the neighborhood where you live, look to move to a different neighborhood where it's maybe a higher class, lower class, whatever, and where people don't know you and you can be able to move in and you can start a brand new life. That's what you need to do. Then you have your home office and you have all these other things that you're going to be doing. But understand this. Abnormal business practices are nothing more than what you would do that is out of the norm. Again, if you took $10,000 in one day and then deposited $100,000 2 days later, they would wonder where you got the money, especially if you did it in cash. If you wire transferred it, not so much. But if you take in a cashier's check, it might set them off, but it's definitely going to set off flags if you put $10,000 in cash and walk in with $100,000 in cash. You don't want to pay for anything in cash, and that's what they're going to tell you. You need to have a record of it, and they're going to follow it to the very end to make sure that you are not doing anything that is out of the norm, what the banking world would consider normal. Okay, that's why you have wealth managers, that's why you have lawyers, that's why you have accountants, that's why you have all this to make sure that your money is going where it's supposed to go in every legal means. All right? So just don't worry about it. They're going to explain a lot of this to you when you get in there. If you ask them, they'll explain it. And you can more than likely meet with your wealth management team that day, depending on which wealth management team that you go with. So it's really 6 of one, half dozen of another. But just be calm. When you go in there, don't freak out. Just be calm. And nobody would blame you if you get a little bit excited, but don't get so excited that you're going to create a panic mode or or something that would be considered to be dangerous. Okay, just stay calm, relax. You're going to get the best rates possible. If you don't want to take a contract rate, then don't, because there's more strings attached to the contract rate than just taking the international rate. So if you're still going to have to sign an NDA, that'll be about 1.5 pages. The Zim one will be about 3 pages, maybe a little longer, depending on how long you want to leave the money. So there are some things that you really don't need to worry about. You have every right to buy the most expensive car you want to buy. You have every bit of right to buy a mansion or whatever you want to do with your money. But just understand, if you go from a $50,000 a year job to millions of dollars, even though it's going to be explained, and you go out and you buy a $50 million home, they're going to put your account on hold to make sure that you did not buy that house illegally or that the funds were illegal. That's why you go through your wealth managers. You have them work it all out for you. You don't do it yourself. Let them do it. That's what you're paying them for. All right? And most people who think that they can manage the money can't. Look at every lotto winner that's gone broke within 5 years. They did not manage their money properly. So talk it over with your wealth team. Try to enjoy as much of your life as you possibly can, because you're never going to get another chance. All right? Thank you, guys. If we get an update today, we will be letting you know. Thanks. Bye.